To effectively manage risk and compliance, it is essential to understand the underlying data model of GRC for Jira. The system is built on a structured hierarchy designed to provide full traceability from high-level regulatory requirements down to granular operational tasks. We will explore this hierarchy using the dependency graph to visualize the relationships between work item types. We begin with the compliance governance domain. At the apex is the authority document. This work item represents the industry standards, regulations, or internal control libraries your organization must adhere to, such as PCI DSS, ISO 27001, NIST, or GDPR. Each authority document is decomposed into compliance requirements. These represent the specific articles, sections, or control families within the regulation. To ensure operational efficiency, these requirements are mapped to control objectives. The control objective is a critical layer of abstraction. It serves as a common denominator that can satisfy multiple compliance requirements from different authority documents simultaneously. This allows your organization to harmonize its compliance efforts and avoid redundant controls. Control objectives are linked to control templates. These templates define the organization's standard for control design, ensuring consistency across different departments. Associated with these are assessment templates, which house the standardized questionnaires and logic used for control testing and evaluation. We now shift to the compliance operations domain. The central work item here is the entity. An entity is an abstract representation of any organizational unit, asset, process, or vendor that is subject to oversight. Compliance is operationalized by creating controls for these entities. A single entity may be subject to multiple controls, and conversely, a single control may be applied to multiple entities. Controls define the testing frequency, evidence collection requirements, and ownership. The execution is managed through control assessments. If a failure or gap is identified during an assessment, you could register a control deficiency. These deficiencies track the remediation lifecycle, and it can be linked to external Jira tasks to ensure accountability across the broader organization. Let's proceed to the risk management domain, which follows a similar structured approach as compliance domain. It begins with the risk framework, which categorizes risks into high-level groups such as cybersecurity, operational, or financial risks. Within a framework, we define risk statements. These act as the standardized templates for specific risks, ensuring that risk descriptions and categories remain uniform across the enterprise. Each risk statement is associated with a risk assessment template, which encapsulates the specific scoring models and questionnaires required for the assessment process. From an operational perspective, risks are managed in direct relation to entities. Every specific risk work item is typically instantiated from an existing risk statement. This ensures that risks remain aligned with the organization's centralized risk library. Once a risk is established, its lifecycle is managed through two primary work items: the risk assessment and the risk response. The risk assessment is the operational task used to identify and calculate critical metrics, such as inherent and residual risk ratings, while evaluating them against the organization's defined risk appetite. The risk response then captures the specific strategy, whether mitigation, transfer, or acceptance, and the tasks required to execute that decision. Additionally, risks are mapped to controls to establish a functional link between threats and mitigation measures. This association allows for the dynamic calculation of control effectiveness within the risk model. The final component is the incident, used to track risks that have materialized. By linking an incident to its respective entity, the materialized risk, or the implemented controls, organizations can perform root cause analysis and strengthen measures to prevent reoccurrence. This structured hierarchy ensures that data remains normalized and traceable across all domains. By linking high-level governance to granular operational activities, the system provides a continuous audit trail from regulatory requirements and risk statements down to individual assessments, controls, and incidents. This data model enables a unified view of the organization's compliance and risk posture based on interconnected, real-time work items.